Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Got a great show lined up, some special things to talk about. But first, let's take a look at our weather. Got some cool weather coming. It's going to get down into 40s tonight here on the coast and a little bit cooler inland. So that's something to look forward to. High is going to be about 76. Water temperature dropped down to 73.9 to be exact, right at the end of the pier. But it dropped 1 degree over the weekend and yesterday, so that's not the big drop we're looking for. Our river reading is brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do. Look at Apalachicola at Bluntstown. It's even 7 foot, and it's not moving, not much movement today or tomorrow. We're looking at Choctawhatchee at Caryville. It is 4.9, and it is the same way. Both rivers are real steady, which is a good sign the week going into Thanksgiving. A lot of good fishing can be had this coming weekend, I can promise you, on both rivers. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. You want to see some great tides, take a look at this week. We're looking at a low tide this morning at 8:06, and folks, it's going out all day long it's coming in all day long till about 9 o'clock. So we got the incoming tide, strong tide all week long, and some really good movement as far as the fish. I've heard some really good fishing reports the last couple of days with this strong tide. Now our marine forecast will be coming out of north at about 11, bringing in some of this cool air. So I anticipate what's going on there, but it's going to be a strong incoming tide and a little bit of a north wind, so it's not going to move in as fast as the chart portrays there, but it will be coming in, it'll be strong, and it'll have a current to it. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. We got some pictures to show you. And always the array, the different variety of pictures we show is always just entertaining to me. I hope you enjoy that. You know, we don't just show all fish or all deer or some human. We like to show some human interest stories, somewhere around the water or in the woods that try to pertain to the outdoors. So take a look at this first one here. I'm going to read it to you. I thought it's cool. Marvin Josh Sauls, Kenny Lewis, and Ray Lee Atkinson. 16 years ago, I stood on the bow of the Gemini Queen with my two best friends, Kenny Lewis and Ray Lee Atkinson. Over the last 16 years, we've continued our careers on the water. We've always reminisced about the good old days when all three of us were fortunate enough to work on the same boat. Well, here they are right here. 16 years later, the band is back together. Hard to believe we've gone from party fishing boats to the world's largest tugs, ASD tugs in Alaska. Now that's the Gemini Queen right there, that's the three boys. So he sent this picture here. Check this out, the same boys, they're grown men now, but they've gone from the Gemini Queen to the world's largest tugs. So that, you're talking about making a career on the water, they really did a good job. I know they're making great money, but they're great captains and good guys. I've known them a long time, and I'd love to see folks continue their career in doing something they love to do. All right, we were talking about hopefully the hurricane season is over, but I saw this on the Weather Channel, and folks, is this amazing, the amount of hurricanes we've had in the year 2020? It affects the outdoorsman big time. And how many times has it affected you just this year? I know it has me, and I've heard some of y'all just had to change your plans, and you just got to be flexible. But it's hard to believe all those. I remember some of them very well. Okay, Fred Bryant. Fred's a friend of mine. Fred is a fine fisherman. He fishes Apalachicola system probably 3 or 4 times a week. And he caught this on a 6-pound test line on a brim hook. Now that's when you know you're a good fisherman, when you can maneuver it around and catch a fish like that on a brim hook. I promise you, he did not force that catfish up. Ansel Levy, a silver trout in Crooked Island Pass, 17.5 inches, 1.77 pounds. Good job, Ansel, and that's a good place to fish right there. Nice trout. Donnie Copper, talking about Friday show, special show today, Winston, with 2 very special men. Appreciate you, Captain Roy, values y'all represent. Thank you so much, Donnie Copper. I appreciate that, and it was good to have Captain Roy on. Joe Eddy, a floundering expert. He found a few barely legal fish last night, and the Suicide Squad mullet decided to join them. And I'll give you the story on it. Let me show you a couple of pictures. I'll explain to you why they call these. Look at those. Those are healthy flounder. And this time of the year, right before Thanksgiving. All right, these are the mullet. Why do they call these suicide mullet? Most of the time they jump in the boat with you. They're attracted to the light. I've had them hit my leg, and they were scary to death when they're out there jumping in the still waters, and they just jump in the boat with you. That's what they call suicides. And then that's a good mess of mullet to have. And look at that big flounder. They measure that one is 23 inches? Good job, Joe Eddy. Tom Gurley, our resident photographer out at the state park. Isn't that a great picture of the gators out there? If you go to the state park, now be careful. All right, Joe Eddy sent this dog. He's got a flounder dog that sort of sniffs them out, makes sure they don't jump out of the boat. Okay. The one and only, jumping ahead and shaking, is shaking like a bass. This is good, over 20 inches and released. Good job there. We didn't talk about it. This past weekend is opening squirrel season, and Elizabeth Wingrove, she's one of my former students of the month. Great outdoor girl, living down in Weewall now. She is really enjoying the outdoors. She and her boyfriend, and they went squirrel hunting Saturday. Check it out. Pretty girl and pretty squirrels. All right, good job, Elizabeth. Glad you're still outdoor. Grant Register, he sneaked off. He and his daughter Paige, he sneaked away, and that's sometimes you have to do it. Just sneak away, go get some fishing done, and did a good job. Jerry and Faye Register's son. Hunter Ray, this is good. Hunter over here, that's Roy's nephew. This is what hunting is all about. What an awesome event and a great group of guys. With all this stuff going on around this country, this group of kids only had one thing on their mind: getting in the woods and hearing these hounds singing. The future looks bright. That's in Covington County, the youth hunt in Covington County. Here's a picture of them right here. The Dog Hunters Association, and I know they had a good time listening to those dogs run. And there's several organizations doing that. Kurt Weller, anytime you get a slam, this is on Panama City Fishing page, but I had to mention this on the show. That's what we call a St. Andrew Slam. Here's each of those where he got it. He got redfish on the north shore by Tyndall, the speck and flounder along the south shore. Mullet was cruising the shore, and he got it on a penny gulp under a cork. Quite a surprise seeing the doormat coming up to the boat. And usually they don't jump up and grab something on the float. So that's a slam right there. Good job, Kurt Weller. And Fred Bryant's brother, Bill Bryant, used to be a policeman up there in Mariana. I wonder if they caught the catfish on the same day on the lower end of the Apalachicola. Good job, Bill. And let's see. This is one of my pictures. I copied this for you over the weekend. These two deer, look at these two deer up at my granddad's place. What do you think they're doing? They look like they're looking in the mirror or playing charades or what? That's really good. I thought that was entertaining. All right, that's a good run on the pictures. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. First thing, let's add some names to the pickle jar. We're going to add Debbie Moore from Oxford. Okay, all of my kin folks over that way. Now, I may or may not be kin to her. I'm not saying. And then good friends up in the Funac Springs, Michelle Wilcox, okay, and Billy Ray Wilcox. Good to hear from y'all, and good to hear from all of y'all when you send messages and all. And that's the beauty of electronic media this day and time, is to be able to stay in contact. And I glean a lot of my information from these messages and from different social media and from actual eyewitness accounts. So we're able to put together. It'd be hard to put a show together day after day without a lot of this information coming in from various sources. The other day I went home after the show, and just as I got out of my truck, I left my truck in the driveway instead of the garage. I was planning to go somewhere a little bit later, so I just left the truck in the driveway. So it's quiet out there where I live. So I opened the door, and just opened the door, I heard an eagle. And when I'm like most outdoors, when you hear something like that, you just you freeze and move real slow and try to hear them again and find out where they are. And I turn real slow, and there was an eagle flying we got some dead pine trees, believe it or not, on the edge of our yard, and some tall ones, but they're going to fall away from the house. And I looked up, and he was flying. He sort of circled and flying into it. And lo and behold, there was another eagle on the limb. And I just, so I just moved real slow, went back behind the truck, and went through the garage and told Gail, "Get the camera out. There are 2 eagles." So she's really good at photography, always has been. And she snapped a couple of still shots. And she took, I got a little 2-minute video coming, and it's to see nature in its raw power right there of the eagle. And of course, the eagle is always, being a national symbol. Always, Ben Franklin. Remember, he wanted what did Ben Franklin want for the national symbol for the bird? He wanted a turkey. And remember, the story goes, if you've read your history and all about where they discussed it, they actually talked about it. He was gung ho about getting a turkey as our national symbol. And they were asking him, why not the eagle? He said, the eagle, here's his words, the eagle has a bad moral character. He said, they steal food from other birds, and they also bully the other birds. And you stop and think about it, it's a predator chain, and the biggest, that's the top of the chain right there. So sure, they're going to steal and do things like that. But I know another thing I looked up too, how many nesting eagles are in Florida. And the FWC website had 1,499. And I thought to myself, I'm just one of these numbers kind of guy, wouldn't it sound a little better just rounded off to 1,500? You're only one short of 1,500. So there's around 1,500 nesting pair of eagles. Now we have a good population here, especially around Tyndall and all around the water up at Deer Point, Lake Seminole. But they, believe it or not, they have more eagles down there in central and south Florida, and they just have more than we do because there's more bodies of water as far as actual nesting close to it and all. But there's a good population at Tyndall. I'll hope as soon as things get back to normal, we'll have our Tyndall biologists come on. That's one of the things I want to talk about, the nesting turtles and the nesting eagles out there. And you start thinking about the trees. They want to build their nest in live trees, but they love perching in dead trees. And so we got more dead trees than we have live trees, so they're struggling at some places trying to find some good nesting area. They'll nest in South Florida. They'll nest some in the winter. Most of them nest in the springtime, and then have the hatchlings in late spring. And I think it's 46 days maybe to hatching. I'm not sure, but anyway. And people talk about having eagle eyes. Well, technically, what they prove, the eagle's eyes are like 3 times stronger than the human eyes. So, and now they have, I know we've talked about this before, live webcams on different eagles' nests. And now, I was looking last night, they have some webcams, just live. I know there's several of them now. I don't know if they're around here or not, but there's an eagle group, and they'll actually watch them, and they have actual different angles. Instead of just one camera shining in there, they'll have a couple different angles on them. It's really gotten to the point where all the behavior of when they hatch out and all, and it's sort of a big deal. So we'll try to follow some next spring when they're hatching and let you know about it. But anyway, we'll get to the video. This was right to on the right side of my house as I'm facing water, and they'll land on there because they can look out on the water and they can see their food coming, and they don't really have to steal any food up there on North Bay. There's plenty of food up there coming and swimming through North Bay. So Jeff, let's run this little short video. All right. Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that little homemade clip, but the music and all. I enjoyed it. It's special. We're going to show it to the grandkids and all, but it's real things happen. You know, another thing about the eagles is they're just so massive. Their wingspan is like 7 feet when they really get spread out. The big adults are like 7 feet. Of course, Florida has the largest population of eagles of the 48 continental states here. Florida has the largest population. So enjoy them. I know a lot of y'all send me pictures of them and see them, so enjoy them. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today. We're brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 12:32 to 2:32 this morning, and then right after lunch at 1:03 to 3:03. And then we have Thanksgiving coming up. That's why I started talking about the turkey. I'm glad, you know, if the turkey had been the national bird, I don't know if we could have had it for Thanksgiving. So I'm glad they picked the eagle. So anyway, Thanksgiving's coming up. So, you know, we've got all kind of, it looks like weather's going to be really nice the next week or two. So we're looking into some really good situations. I was up in the woods over the weekend and we had a little dove shoot. I got a video coming tomorrow of a dove shoot we had this past Saturday up at Mike Miller's. Had a big meal and a big dove shoot and had a glorious grand time with some fun, enjoyable people that love the outdoors. So actually did as a customer appreciation, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But I was thinking, I also went up to what I call it's my granddad's place, and it's my place now, but it's just special. And I remember as a kid, I was walking through the woods the other day next to the field, and I remember as a kid seeing quail. And I was thinking, you know, I would love to introduce quail, and we've talked about it before. We have Quails Unlimited now. They're trying to do it in different places. I know the FWC is trying to introduce quail at Appalachia in different places, and it's a little difficult now because they don't have a lot of food, the row crops and all. We've talked about it. And you know, the quail hunts that we've been on, they've done real well as us harvesting quail, but these were not, you know, natural quail. They were planted quail, and that's where all the quail hunts you go on now are planted quail. But it would be really nice if some landowners could get together. I don't have that big of a piece, but I'm going to talk to my neighbors about bringing some in and just trying to, you know, get them some shelter. The big thing is having shelter. And of course, the predators, unlike the eagle, the quail has a lot of predators. They have the coyote is one of the biggest things that really does them a lot of damage. And at the time, bobcats, we don't have that many bobcats, but the coyotes really put a hurting on them, of course, and then the hawks from the air. So they have a tough situation. So anyway, we're going to talk more about the quail. I'm going to actually get back in touch with Quails Unlimited. I used to see them each year at the Southeastern Outdoor Press Association. You know, they called it off this year because of COVID, but you can buy quail, and the biggest thing now, they don't have that defensive mechanism built inside of them when they're raised in a pen. So you got to go and get some wild quail, and that's where you sort of got to merge together. And you know, the defensive mechanism, when they see that shadow, they usually run. But you know, if they're in a cage and see that shadow, they think somebody's coming to feed them, and in reality, it's a hawk coming to eat them. So that's one of the problems. So we're going to talk more about that. And I'm going to talk. I know some people who are trying to do it also, and on a private basis, and their ratio has been below 20%, like 10 to 15%. And also get some biologists in here talking about it. So anyway, it'd be cool to have the bobwhite quail back in the Florida Panhandle on a large scale like they were at one time. Okay, now also I mentioned the other day about the deer, you know, as a food plot versus the oak tree. And you know, we talked about so many food plots out there now. The deer are becoming acclimated to going to the food plots. And I don't know if they're walking by the acorns, or of course the acorns are only there a short period of time compared to the food plot being there. But I want to get some feedback from what some of y'all think, because Benny Foy and I were talking about it the other day, and it just made a lot of sense that, you know, if you start looking at pictures on your camera, you know, they come in there every day or every night to feed. So why would they go to find oak trees and look for acorns if they can just, you know, if they may or may not be there, and the squirrel's going to be eating them and all, and there's the food. So, you know, your feedback on that. And also, talking about pictures, I've got a spike keeps showing up. And how do you tell if it's an old spike or a young spike? I've always had an idea if it's curved, it looks like a little old curve, you look like the horns are old, that's an older spike, you know, when it starts going downhill. And then a young spike has them coming out looking more healthy. But I don't. Again, that's something I'd like to ask some people that know, like Steve Shea, see what he thinks on it. Of course, Steve don't see a lot of spikes. He sees those big 14 points up there in Missouri. Okay, going to start wrapping things up tomorrow now. Remember, well, I'll be back tomorrow and we'll talk about the video, but we've got some good stuff coming up. We've added some names. We've got Thanksgiving coming up. I'd like to give some stuff away, getting ready for Christmas and all, but I don't know about, picking things up. We can't pick it up here in studio, and I can't mail stuff all the time, so it's just something that we're going to work on. I don't know. If you have a solution to it, let me know. I don't like to wait in line at the post office and mail stuff, okay? Got to wrap it up. Thank y'all for watching the show today. We appreciate the viewership. Do something good today for fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.